Welcome back, everybody. Pensive Piper here, and I'm enjoying a bowl of Russ's TastyKake. I'm here in my lounge on a windy and chilly evening here in Northern Virginia. I received a 2-ounce shipment of Russ's TastyKake earlier this week from pipesandcigars.com, and I've never tried it before. And now that the day is winding down, I decided to enjoy one more smoke before bed to kind of solidify my thoughts on it, what my first impressions were, and to see if there's anything else that I can pick up in there on my first couple attempts smoking this particular blend from Russ Ouellette. He's a master blendsman responsible for favorites like Hearth and Home White Knight, and of course my personal favorite, Bengal Slices. This is a blend an awful lot like Bengal Slices. Very similar tin notes when you open up the package and you smell the tobacco for the first time. It even comes in the cakes sliced much the same way. It's a Latakia forward blend with a couple different types of Virginias, some Orientals, a dash of Perique, and it's capped off with a little bit of black Cavendish. I did prepare my tobacco by letting it dry for about 30 minutes before smoking tonight. When you first start puffing on this blend, the Latakia is definitely the most prominent thing that comes to your palate at first. So you're getting that smoky, woodsy, kind of barbecue smoke type flavor and smell. But rather quickly, for me, it turns to a little bit of the tartness and some of the sour notes from the Orientals. You get a little bit of the tang in there. That kind of round tartness that comes with those Oriental tobaccos. The Perique is very subtle but noticeable, and it adds just a little bit of that peppery note. Just enough. It's like that extra little dash of freshly ground peppercorn on top of a Caesar salad. You know, it adds just the right amount of zing. On these cool evenings like this, I find that a rich and hearty blend with the Latakias like this is incredibly satisfying. I've got to be careful because earlier today I was doing some housework, and you know, we've all been home for an extended period of time, and my wife and I have a newborn, So we haven't gotten out much, and we've also gotten a little behind with some of the housework, laundry and dishes and running the vacuum and all those sorts of menial tasks that we all have to do from time to time. But I was able to take some time today and get some of those chores done. And I was wearing a pair of basketball shorts just because they're comfortable, easy to move around the house in. And I came out and I smoked a bowl of this Russ's TastyKake sometime this afternoon. And when I was finished, I looked down and noticed that I had burned a giant hole in my basketball shorts right in the crotch area. So, unfortunately, I think these basketball shorts that I was wearing are going to be retired for housework only. But it's not that big of a loss. But it's annoying nonetheless. So I know some of you guys out there have burned holes in your clothing. And because of that, I'm wearing my smoking jacket tonight. I wasn't wearing my smoking jacket earlier because I had my garage door up. It was a sunny day. It was windy, but sunny. And so I enjoyed the bowl sand smoking jacket. And I regret that decision because if I had had my smoking jacket on, I probably wouldn't have a pair of shorts with a giant hole burned in the front of them. But hey, you live and you learn, right? Now the density of this blend, I do think it means that you will have to relight a couple times, maybe more so than you would on some other blends, but it seems to be really slow burning. It's very smooth. And I'm just getting to that part of the bowl where the perique is becoming a little bit more prominent. It's kind of moved away from the latakias, and I'm picking up more of that spicy perique note. This is a blend that seems to really be layered. And what I mean by that is some blends, as you guys know, when you start smoking it, it presents itself early on and then it maintains that throughout the duration of the smoke. But with this particular blend, it really seems to move between different layers of the components that are within the blend. So the initial wave of flavors, I think, is really coming from the latakia. And then mid-bowl, you start to pick up some of that perique. It becomes more prominent, gets a little bit spicier. That sound is my baby monitor, so I may have to go upstairs and check on my daughter real quick. She likes to cry in her sleep sometimes, make little whimpering noises, and it's super cute. And as we move through the perique, the Virginias in the blend really start to become the predominant flavor profile that I'm picking up. So I think it's really interesting because when you first start smoking the blend, you don't really notice the Virginias at all. They're very much kind of in the background, providing just a little bit of that subtle sweetness. And you can tell that they're there, but they're very much on the back burner. But once we get through that initial Latakia and Perique introduction, the body and the sweetness of the Virginias really come out. And then you definitely start to pick up some of the black Cavendish as well. The Cavendish really adds just a little bit of mellowness, and it adds just a touch of that maybe creamy note. That really makes the finish of the bowl enjoyable. And it's something that you don't pick up on until you start to get to the end of the bowl. The Virginias become prominent, and it pairs quite nicely with the Cavendish. So if you're looking for a blend similar to Bengal slices, maybe you're somebody that enjoys Bengal slices like myself, it's one of my favorites. And this blend is really quite similar. It sort of lacks a little bit of that special something that makes Bengal slices so fantastic, but it's still a really enjoyable smoke nonetheless. So I think if you get a chance to pick up some of Russ's TastyKake on pipesandscigars.com, you should take that opportunity and pick up a little bit. I think I got 2 ounces for around $7, something like that. It's pretty affordable, really. Can't wait to keep exploring this blend a little bit in the coming days, but those are some of my initial thoughts. It's been a real pleasure chatting with everybody tonight. I'm going to finish this bowl and enjoy the warmth of my fire in my tobacco lounge. And I'm going to get a good night's sleep, wake up and have some coffee in the morning, and figure out what blend I'm going to enjoy in tomorrow's pipe. I almost forgot one last thing. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. I'd really appreciate it. Have a great night. Happy piping, everybody.